Good morning and welcome to Heartland Outdoor Living. I think we just lost some of that video, so I'm going to start over real quick. Again, this morning the video is going to be about off-grid communication. Good morning and again, thanks for tuning in to Heartland Outdoor Living. The topic today is going to be off-grid communication. As many of you know, our little cabin that we have out in the woods, we have weak to no signal at best when we're up there. And one of the things that's actually triggered all this, and this is part of the reason it's been a while since we've uploaded a video, we went out there Memorial Day weekend and we took my father out there. It's the first time he's been out there. He's about 74, 75, right in there. I know, terrible either way. But while we were there, everything was going good, and he ended up going into a blood sugar low while we was there. Which basically, it was actually really bad. I mean, he lost consciousness, went into basically a seizure, and didn't know what was going on, where he was, or any of that. And it was actually pretty scary. By the grace of God, a friend of mine who we've been friends with for about 20 some odd years, his wife is a doctor, and we was all sitting there eating dinner together at the off-grid cabin location at the picnic table, and I'll show some videos of that later on. But this video, we're going to keep it to the off-grid communications and why you should think about it. So anyhow, we ended up getting him back to recovery by the grace of God. Like I said, Keela was there, and then I don't know if you can see King over here, he's laying here. Right after that, the same weekend, he ended up getting bit by a rattlesnake on his right front paw. Now, where the communication and the emergency stuff comes in, we were able to treat the dog and get him the medical attention he needed as well, but we're roughly an hour away from the closest volunteer fire department or anything like that, and without having any way to communicate with emergency responders has spurred my interest in the off-grid communications and some things you can do or things you can think about. Number one, yes, we do have the Spot, if you guys remember, and I'll show a picture of it here in a minute. The Spot is a communication device that's linked through the satellite that we've used for the motorcycle stuff. And if you guys are familiar with my other channel, then you've actually seen videos on that. And InReach makes one as well. But in a situation like we're in, if you needed a contact, let's say there's a fire or something like that, the Spot's not really going to help you in a situation like that. The Spot is truly dedicated to a single person. Depending on the package that you buy, you get insurance, etc., blah blah blah, for that individual person. So if something happened to Angie, unless we got a Spot device for her, we could get the helicopter and stuff to her to help her out, but it's not going to cover nothing because she doesn't have her own package. So that brings us up to date. Roughly 2 years ago, another good friend of mine that I work with gave me this Baofeng UHF VHF handheld radio, and this is what it looks like out of the package. And I'll do some close-up videos of this as well, but here's the little antenna, and I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to explain to you part of the other reason that it's been a while since we've uploaded a video. Number one, to legally talk on these, you have to be licensed. So over the past month, I've actually studied really hard, and I passed my tech license and my general license. So my call sign is KI5ARH. So we've got that part out of the way. We're actually legal. We can talk on them now. The second problem that you don't understand when you go and buy one of these, and this is where a lot of people get into the confusion on whether or not it's a good deal to get licensed or not. I'm going to encourage anybody to obey the law as opposed to break the law. You guys are familiar with my other channel. We've been doing stuff for years and years on the dual sport channel, and I always try to obey the law, if you will. So I'm not going to give you any advice that's ever going to be breaking the law. So I'm going to encourage you, number one, go get your ham license if you're thinking about getting one of these ham radios. I know a lot of your preppers and the guys who are prepared, if you will, carry these. These are a great little radio for 35 bucks. You can't hardly go wrong because you can actually do quite a bit with a radio like this. Where the license comes in handy is you're going to learn a lot more about the radio, how it works, why it works, and why it's not working. And if you've got this in your backpack and you've never picked it up and you don't know how to use it and you don't realize that it needs to be programmed, there's a lot that goes into these little radios, and just straight out of the box it's not going to work for you. So you're carrying around you're carrying around something extra that at most probably all you're ever going to really be able to use is a little LED flashlight on the top of a radio like this, because the radio is not going to work for you and it's not going to do the job. Okay, that brings us up to our next point. We got the licensing covered. The next point is, out of the box, this little rubber antenna doesn't work real well. It's going to be good for communicating with your buddy on a simplex channel, and we'll go into the repeater, simplex, and the other modes that you can use with your radios in a more in-depth video. This is just an introduction on communications, off-grid communications. The little rubber ducky antenna is what they call it, and that you'll learn that in your tech class when you're studying for it. This little antenna works okay out of the box, and I'm going to say okay at best. It's not going to get you very far, and it's not going to be it's not a super antenna. Now the great thing about this little antenna is it is small and it's short. You can throw it in your EDC, your backpack, or whatever. You can also, it comes with a belt clip that you can clip it to your belt and you don't have an antenna poking you in the armpit or whatever. With that said, the next little thing that you can buy to give you a little more reach and a little better reception is going to be this antenna right here, and it's a Nagoya antenna, and it's going to get you a lot more reach. You're going to be able to talk further. You're also going to be able to pick up more. You may actually be able to pick up a lot more than you can actually reach. But we'll turn this radio on and see if we can hear anybody talking. It's early in the morning. A lot of the guys that are actually on this particular repeater that we're connected to are not morning guys, they're more evening guys. So if we hear something, great, and if not, that's fine too. So that brings us to the communication, kind of brings you up to speed on some things to think about and look at as far as antennas. And the next thing that I'm going to talk about is up there on the mountain we have a lot of trees. The pine trees are 40 foot tall plus. So, and able to communicate with the fire station that's roughly 7 miles away, I'm going to have to get up above the tree line and shoot basically the radio waves down towards them. And that's brought us to this tool right here. This is what you call a J-pole antenna. It's made by KB9 VBR. He hand makes these, and this one is a two-piece, so it unscrews so that it's a much shorter package, and this way we can keep it in the Jeep. We can take it down in the Jeep and not worry about it getting bent or something like that, because it does break down. He also makes a one-piece if you are not worried about it. I wanted the two-piece simply because I know that we're going to be driving a long ways to get to the cabin, and we're going to be in the Jeep half the time. So Michael is the owner of jpoleantennas.com, and I'll put a link down below. And this is one of the great things that I've really liked about contacting Michael, is he's very understanding and helpful. Me being new to all this, I was able to email him, ask him a few questions about the antenna, because my plan is to put this antenna on a pole, get it up into the 40-foot range at the cabin. We will do another video directly related to this J-pole antenna when we get it installed up on the mountain, but what I am going to do is we'll do an additional video prior to getting it installed on the mountain on the pole that's 40 some odd foot in the air. We're going to do a video here in the backyard testing it. We've got a repeater that's roughly 15 miles away from where we are right now, and I'm going to set this up using some cable that I got from Clear Signal Products. Clear Signal Products, again, this guy that owns this is a super good guy, very, very helpful. He's located here in Oklahoma, and he does have a website online, and I'll put a link down below so that you can order the coax that you need And one more antenna that I'd like to cover real quick before we end this video is the little magnetic base antennas. You can put these on your vehicle, put it on top of your car or whatever, and that's something that I've been doing over the last month, is trying to figure out which one would be the best for a mobile operation. But you could actually put this on your vehicle, and on the top listen to your radio, communicate through your radio, even using one of the small Baofengs, because you just unscrew the antenna here, put that in there, and it gives you a much better transmit and receive signal than you're going to get with this inside your vehicle. So it's a nice little option, and it's another thing to think about. And we will do another video on strictly mobile radios, but that'll be sometime here in the near future as well. But this morning I basically just wanted to kind of go over some things that we're going to be using and implementing on the off-grid cabin for communication purposes for emergency situations. One more little deal on the test as far as going and getting your license. Here's a few things that I did find out getting my license. It's another way to network with people, and it's another way that you can find other people who know what they're doing, who've been doing it for a long time, and they can give you the help or assistance. I've found that so far, just like with Michael with the J-pole antenna, Michael with the coax cable stuff, these people are really friendly. They're really helpful. They're passionate about the amateur radio and the hobby of the amateur radio. The people who do this love it, and it's something they enjoy, and it's a great way to meet other people, expand your knowledge on the ins and outs, the whys, the things that will happen. So again, this is just an introduction to what we're going to be using up on the mountain. We're going to share all this with you because I think it's important. Again, if Keela hadn't been there, I think my dad wouldn't be here today. The dog getting bit by a rattlesnake was just another gentle reminder while we were up on the mountain that we need some way to communicate in case of an emergency, whether it be a snake bite, fire, heart attack. You guys know we're running chainsaws up there. I mean, any number of accidents could occur up there, and as safe as we plan on everything going, if it wasn't for accidents, we wouldn't need him, so we wouldn't need fire, we wouldn't need police. So that's the inevitable. I'd rather be prepared for a way that we can get a hold of the people to come help us. And this is just a few ideas. I appreciate you tuning in to Heartland Outdoor Living. We're going to go more in depth in a lot of these videos and talk to you more about the communications, but this is just a brief overview of getting started on off-grid communications. Again, we appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes, and may you have a blessed week.